Let's take a look at the different kinds of questions that you could ask. Multiple choice, I don't need to explain to you, nor do I need to explain true and false. Let's look at fill in the blanks, and there's fill in multiple blanks, but let's do fill in the blanks. The way this would work is you would type out something that has the blank in it, a sentence. So you'd say the solution is blank. You just put in your blank. Now, and that can be in any sentence in any way that you want. Now what you do is you go down and provide any answers that are acceptable. So let's say the number was -6. You'd put in a negative and a 6. You might say, oh, let's put a negative, a space, and then a 6. You might put in -6. Now, honestly, I would not use this in this environment because I don't want kids to get it wrong because they typed in negative space 6 or something like that. But I'm just showing you how these work. So this is a possible way to do this. Let's see what it looks like on students' side. So in a quiz format, it would look like this. The solution is blank, and then they give you just a blank to type in. So the answer was -6, so let's get it right. But let's put in our -6. Let's submit our answer. Now, it told us that we got it right because we matched exactly one of the ones that was there. So again, this can be a dangerous way to do a numerical one. I would not do -6 this way, but just to show you how this style is given, you give all of the answers that you find are acceptable. Let's see what else is down the list. Multiple blanks follows that pattern. Multiple answers is easy to understand. Think of it like just where you'll have a list of answers like multiple choice. Let's say 4 and 2 and -5, -2 and 7. This actually would be a good one where the students were factoring and there were two solutions. Say there was an answer of 4 and the other answer was -2. They would select both of those to get the answer. So in the description of this one, you'd say select all that are correct. Let's keep going. Multiple drop downs. This is actually highly used and kind of interesting how it works. Let's say we're asking the student to enter a coordinate point, so that you might say the image of A prime is, I use my round brackets to say it's a coordinate. I use the square ones to create a little variable to put in there. Now I'm putting an x coord, meaning the x coordinate, in the square brackets. Let's put a space or two, a comma, a space or two, and then let's put in the y coord for y coordinate, and then again a space and a bracket. You'll see why I'm kind of laying that out. I want it to look like a point. Now when you created that down below, it will create a toggle to say where to put in the x coordinate and the y coordinate. And so this is like a pull down menu. So while -6 would be one option, 10 would be one, 3 would be one, -2 would be one. And what I'm doing is I'm putting in the potential answers for the x coordinate. And then over here on the y coordinate, I would also do 2, I would do 5, I would do -7 and 9. And then I create the question. So let's save that and go look at it in student view. In this view, you see that it says the image of A prime is, there's my little bracket for the coordinate. Oh, the answer was 10. There's my comma, so now I'm doing the y value, and 5. So this is a great way to organize questions. It provides great variety, and it doesn't do it in a multiple choice way. I really love this format. Who else is on this list? Matching, you know what that is, numerical. I love, love, love numerical. Now this is the better way to retrieve the answer of -6, for instance. So, you know, if you had a problem 2x equals -12, and you know someone's solving this problem, well, then the answer becomes, and the question is, you know, what is x, or solve for x. So you want them to enter -6. I do not like that as a blank one, but here I would just put in the -6, and it will know whether and convert anything into -6. It's smart enough to recognize many forms of this. Like if someone put in -6.0, it would still correct it as correct. Now you can add a margin of error. Let's say this was like taking the square root of 5. Let's say that's what you were finding out. That number as a number is like 2.36 something. So you might put in 2.36, actually 2.236 is the answer. So the best way to do it, if we were asking them to round to 2 decimal places, would be to be 2.24. But maybe you're kind enough to say, well, you know what? Let's put a little margin of error on that, of like 0.03 or 0.01 or 0.1 or whatever. And what that would do is it would basically tabulate a range of error that is acceptable for you, or in terms of that. And that's just a way to maybe ease up the decimals a little bit. But if you wanted it to be exactly to 2 decimal places, rounded to that spot, then you do not have to put a margin of error. But the margin of error allows for a slight change. Let's look. I think there was one more type of question here. What's left? Formula. I'm not going to get into formula, but I'll tell you what it does. It gives you a little place here to explain how you define variables and how you can do it. But the idea is you could make it so it generates different numbers for different kids, and then you create a formula that will calculate the correct answer each time. And they tell you a little bit how to do it, and the variables that you can use, and the different functions that are available. And it's very cool. It's not for us right now, but in the future, to get a little trickier, we could create formula questions that are just really powerful for us, save us a lot of time. You know what an essay question is. You know how to upload a file, and I'm not sure what the last one is, but there are the questions.